Welcome to our Devos this week, where we are talking about the power of words. And if you have any doubt that words that you use on a regular basis have power, then this week should really kind of disabuse you of that notion and should really get you to focus on the fact that God has given you power in the words that you use. And if we're being sincere with one another, most of us, we use our words incorrectly. So today I want to talk about something that words do that most people fail at miserably, and that's this. Words disarm. Words disarm. What does that mean? That means in the midst of conflicts, words have a tremendous power to de-escalate a conflict, okay? Let's give you the scripture here. In Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1, it says, "A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger." Okay, what's happening in here? This is conflict, right? Okay, so nowhere is this more certainly to take place than in a conflict with someone that you're close with. I don't know about you, but I've seen conflicts that take place that they're literally like an escalator. Like somebody gets on a step and you're like, oh, they just dropped a conflict bomb. They said something passive aggressive. They said something that's kind of maybe untrue, something borderline that's, almost libelous, something mean. Okay, and then it starts to escalate. Then the other person says something, another person says something. And that's how most conflicts begin, right? It starts with something small, a small fence, and it's built on. Somebody's like, hey, you probably shouldn't have did that. Oh, why? Why shouldn't I did that? I did this the right way. I, carried this task through to completion. Yeah, well, you have trouble really following through on those tasks. Okay, escalation, right? So now you're talking about somebody's character. Oh, really? You noticed that, but you didn't know. And this happens a lot in marriage. You notice that I have trouble following through with tasks, but you never noticed that you forgot that you love me. You don't love me anymore. Okay, and what happens is it's escalating. Okay, now we're talking about full-blown behavior, attitude of behavior, and before you know it, boom, it's conflict central. World War III in your home, fighting, angry, name-calling. That's what happens with conflict. But if you recognize the power of words, a soft answer turns away wrath. What does that mean? That means in the middle of conflict, you can stop and have enough strength to be meek. Hey, I noticed you didn't take care of that, and you really should do a better job taking care of that. Instead of saying, oh yeah, well, have you done everything perfectly? Oh yeah, do you raise the kids perfectly? Instead of doing that, say, you know what? I probably did drop the ball on that. I probably should have did that. If you are willing to go low first, if you are willing to allow the better of your relationship with any person, whether you're married to them or not, or even if it's a friendship, if you're willing to say, okay, I'm going to be humble here, I'm going to kind of fall on the sword to a degree. Of course, I'm not saying lie. If somebody accuses you of something you didn't do, don't say, oh yeah, I definitely did that. Don't do that. But what I'm saying is, if you bring humility and a soft answer, what happens is it disarms the conflict, okay? I want you to try that in your marriage. I want you to try that with your children. I want you to try that with your coworker. What would it be like if your coworker, that you have been constantly at odds with, if they say something nasty about you or if they make a passive-aggressive comment to you, what if you were to say, you know what, I'll own this. I'm probably not the best person that could have done X, Y, and Z, but I'm really trying. What would that look like? You might not have the effect that you want where it's going to change the situation overnight, but I'll tell you what you are doing. You're honoring God with your words. And you're showing that you're not the kind of person that flies off the handle. You're not the kind of person that can win on every argument. You can win every argument but still lose it. Did you know that? Did you know that? There's always a person in a marriage who's like the good arguer. Like they're never going to lose an argument. Never. Even if they're wrong. Like they do something terrible, hideous. Like they wreck the car into the side of the house. They will still win the argument about how it didn't matter that they wrecked the car on the side of the house because they're that good at arguing. They still lost. So I want to encourage you. The next time you find yourself in a conflict, whatever it may be, even if you're feeling like you're being wronged, what would it look like for you if you took this principle and applied and said, okay, I'm gonna give a soft answer here. Okay, you might not be seeing this right, or maybe I'm mistaken at the way I'm coming across, and you give a soft answer. It disarms the situation instead of escalates it. There's power that God has given us. There's power that God has given us in words. So let's take advantage of that power, and let's use our words according to the best way that we can give Him glory.